show you how I plait my horses. What you'll need is a bucket of water and a sponge. You'll need some scissors, a comb, and a needle and thread. So my thread, I like to make it long enough so that I can do about 3 plaits with one needle just to save time. And then I just tie a knot in the bottom. So like I said in the previous video, I don't mind washing their mane at all. It doesn't really make a difference to me. And as you can see, it's lovely and clean. I just think I'd far rather have a lovely clean mane than a dirty mane. It just looks so much better. Go. So when I'm plaiting, I always start at the top and I just dampen the mane with my sponge and some water. So when I'm plaiting, she's a working hunter, so I don't like too many plaits. For me, generally I have between 12 and 14 plaits. I know some show ponies have about 30 plaits in, and I have no idea how they've got the time to do that. But yes, like I say, mine are between 12 and 14. If I get 13, I'm really not bothered. 13's a lucky number for me, so generally when it is 13 I tend to do well. So my mane's dampened. I'm now going to section the mane to about 3/4 width of the comb. So I just comb down and then I section the mane out like so. And then there's my first section. And then I get my comb and put the spare mane out the way. Go. And then to begin my plait, I split it into 3 even sections. And then I keep the first 3 turns loose, so it's not tight on her neck. So once I've got the 3 looser bits, that's when I pull my plait as tight as possible. My plait as tight as possible, I'm trying to say, sorry. That way you're going to get a much more secure plait in the end. So I plait all the way to the bottom. Like so. And then I nip it together, I turn it under, hold it like that, and I'm going to grab my needle and thread. Come on. And what I do is I get my needle and go up over, through the mane, and then I wrap it round so it's secure. So I'll wrap that round twice, then back up, see that's come off, but that's alright, just hold it in place, there you go. So now that plait's secure, I can let go of it. I then put the needle back through the mane. There you go. And then make my first turn, so I go up to the top of the plait, put my needle through the centre, nip it together, and then I just turn it straight away actually. Saves time, it makes no difference, good girl. And then all I'm going to do is literally go up, down, up, down, up, down. And by using this technique, you can use any colour thread you like, because you should not be able to see it at all. So I'll probably go up and down about 3 times, finishing at the top, so that when I cut my thread you're not going to see it. So I'm going to grab my scissors, and then cut at the top. So I'm going to show you how to do all that again. Start by dampening the mane with my sponge, sectioning the mane with my comb, 3/4 width of the comb, so that's about here. Okay, then I'm going to get my mane out the way with the comb. I'm missing my clip at the moment, so usually I use a hair clip as that makes it more secure. Now I'm going to split my mane into 3 sections. Please stand still. Come on. Like so. And then first 3 turns, nice and loose so it's not tight on her neck. And then now we're going to go as tight as possible to keep the plait secure and firm. All the way to the bottom. Then we're going to nip it together, turn it under, and nip it like so. We're going to grab our needle, go up through the plait, all the way to the end, turn it round twice, and then back up through our plait. Now you can see how the comb's moved that hair, so that's why I clip so much better. So back through, like so, nice and tight. So now the plait's secure, I can let go of it. We're now going to put the needle back down through the plait, so we can then go to the very top of the plait to make our turn. Nip that together, turn it again, make sure it's nice and central. Then we're just going to go up and down through the centre of the plait 3 times. That way we're not seeing any thread at all. And then finishing at the top so that when we cut the thread we aren't going to see any thread. Grab my scissors and then chop. Just like that. Eventually finished her plaiting down her neck. We're now going to do the forelock. Good go. So same principle applies. Good girl. All right. Except what we're going to do is a French plait. So we're going to dampen the mane. Missed the bucket. Never mind. We're going to comb it through. Like so, make sure there's no knots. And then what we're going to do, so instead of just grabbing the mane there and plaiting, we're going to start at the top and just add little bits at a time, which creates a really lovely French plait. So I start with 2 small sections at the top of her mane, of her forelock even. So I fold it over, and then I grab a new piece and I fold that over. I then fold my section over again, but this time I add a new piece to that. And I just carry this on by adding a little piece here. Keep it nice and tight as well. You don't want it to be loose, otherwise you're going to end up with big folds on the side. So you want it nice and snug. So just keep pulling like that. There you go. Not too tight that it'll hurt, but just enough so it doesn't become loose. So then you need to find your bit again. There we go. Over here, please. No. And you also want to try and keep their head as straight as possible. That way you're not going to end up drifting to one side. So if they do move, just wait a second to get them straight again, and then carry on your plait. Okay, so now we're at the bottom. I'm folding it up like I did with my other plait. Get my needle, bring it through, wrap it round twice, back up, and then back down. Now it's up to you here. You can either fold once, this way please Diana, come on, good girl. So you can either fold once and leave it like that, so it's flat, or you can just fold it twice again, like you did with your other. For me, I'm going to fold it twice just so it's nipped in a bit better, but other people do only fold it once just so it lies really flat, but I find, especially when I'm jumping, it tends to flick up, so it's better to just have it nice and neat and tidy. And then this time, instead of finishing at the top, I'm going to finish at the bottom, as you'll see the thread if I finish at the top. So I just nip it all together, making sure it's all nice and even, which it is. Get my scissors and chop it off. There you go. And there's the forelock. Good girl. So when I finish plaiting, what I like to do is get some hair gel. I get this just from a local supermarket, really, and all I do is just get a little bit in my finger and then just rub the plaits. Now this just brings down all those little spiky hairs that are sticking up, and just lets the plaits lie nice and flat, so you've got no loose hairs. And I just do this all the way down, just little bits. Don't need to put a lot on, it's just enough to let it lie flat. And what you can also do is you can put a hood on as well, which will help keep the mane nice and flat. Stop those hairs sticking up. Good girl. Good girl. There we go, just like that. So one thing that really annoys me in the ring is when judges say to me, "Oh, what lovely plaits, I bet you didn't do those." Well, now you know I do.